Today, I am so excited, not only to welcome back one of my best friends, one of the most amazing women I met in my life, Arian Lev. And for the first time, I'm going to read, because she has such a profile, that I'm going to read a little bit about her. She is one of the leading figures in the world of the subconscious research and personal transformation. Arian is the founder of the Arian Lev Method, a unique and innovative approach that uses the subconscious to create meaningful changes in people's personal and professional lives. Arian's method has achieved international success, impacting academic institutions and professionals around the world. She holds workshops and lectures globally, helping individuals in various fields. Arian has spoken not only in the United States Congress and Senate House, but she's also spoken in the French Parliament. And she's given amazing input in the gift that she got. Now, why do I say Arian is very special, especially for me? Arian is the one that, if you heard all my podcasts before when I mentioned her, she's the one that changed my life for the best. She's the one that showed me how to get rid of all the negativity that I had from within, not only from outside, but from within. She's the one that helped me understand who I am in this world and in this universe. She's the one that helped me discover myself, not only discover myself, but how to love myself for who I am. This little tiny bit of humanity in the world is this size. Arian, first of all, welcome, sweetheart.
Wow.
I am so excited that you just arrived from the States back to Israel.
Just 2 hours in Israel now.
2 hours,
Yes.
and she came straight to me. So
Yes.
what can I say? Sweetie, first of all, welcome, my love. And I don't want to cry. I can only say thank you for saving my life, for turning my life around.
Wow. Thank you for sharing, for giving back that to me.
I'm going to tell you a small story how we met. We have a mutual friend. Her name is Tirza Brody, that invited us for dinner in her house. And she told me, Debbie, I'm going to give you a small surprise when you come. I said, okay, we go for dinner, friends, wonderful. And I see Mademoiselle here, and we have a great dinner. And all of a sudden, Tirza with Arian and myself, she says, you know what, let's go out to the balcony. And we sit in the balcony. That minute, my life changed. She comes and says, I have a question for you. For me, not knowing who she is.
And I didn't know who you are. We haven't seen.
We didn't know, we never met each other.
Yes.
And she comes and tells me, did you by any chance have something very bad happen to you last May? I went like this. Yes. But you got rid of it a little bit this year in June. I said, yes. I said, it happened this and this friend of yours, which you thought it was a friend, gave you, she stuck the sharpest knife in your back. Not only did she stab you, she twisted it. And I say, yeah. And she says, would you like to recover yourself? Would you like to be better? I say, I'll give anything to do it. But how do you know? She told me the story of herself. And I'm a very, very spiritual person. She made me even believe more in spirituality and more into what you people call the unknown. And now it's my treat to give to you, my friend, my loyal friend, the person that I love the most, Arian.
Yes.
Tell me how you started, how you discovered that you got what you got, the gift you got from the universe.
Okay, actually, it was since I was born, I was a child, I was different from other children. I could see something that can happen. And sometimes I went to my mom and started to tell her something. Let's say there was one child in the kindergarten, he felt like that, and something happened to him. I was telling a story that happened in the kindergarten, and she went to the teacher in the kindergarten and talked with the teacher, and the teacher said, it's not happened. She's telling you that happened in the kindergarten, didn't happen. So my mother thought that something bizarre with me, that I imagined things that are not happening. But the same story happened a few months after. So as a child, I had those abilities. Okay, and let's say my father is a lawyer, and when I was 8, I told him, you must go to the office because your partner now is betrayed you. So he went to the office and he coached his partner, and actually I saved him in that moment. And when I was 3 years old, I told my mother she's pregnant and she has a girl, and it was like that. But when I was a child, in those times, and my family didn't know what is spirituality. It wasn't something that people understand. Those witches that read in the cards, mysterious women go to those witches to see what they read in the card. But people like me that can see people from the inside and know what's happened, it wasn't something that was very known in that time, and especially not in my family. So when I was a child, this gift, I didn't know that it's a gift. I thought it's a curse.
Really?
Yes. This is the first time that I'm sharing that story with you because you asked me that question. So for me, it was a curse, and I hide it. And because when I look in person's eyes, I can see what's going on inside of him. So when I was a child, this was a curse for me, and I was so afraid from that I couldn't look in people's eyes. It was until the age 25, 26, that the moment that I can see now you and I can look at you so inside your eyes, I couldn't. And now I know that because I see people from the inside, I was afraid from what I'm going to see and discover. Everybody says it's a present. I know now this is a present. And I thank God every day that I'm using that gift in order to help people and help humanity. And I took this gift and I make it as a research, and now there's a method, that scientific method. But then when I was a child, for me, it was a curse. For me, I was bizarre. I wasn't like all children. I used to find money on the street and find things on the street, and my mother, she thought that I stole. Because she said, how do you find those things? Today we know. So for me, this energy, this power that now I bless it, was kind of a curse. Because of that, I suffered even from low self-esteem, and I suffered from eating disorder.
What do you mean by eating disorder?
I mean that it was very hard to live as a person that can see people from the inside. You walk on the street and you can see what people think, what's going on inside of them. I learned how to control it.
How old were you when you learned how to control it?
29.
So that you were already a mature person.
When I started to work with that and I decided to do with that something, it was in the age 27. And then I decided to control it. So when I meet people, I don't see anything. Sometimes I can see. But when I sit with them and talk with them, if I hear that their soul are asking for that, so I can go and help them as I helped you.
So you saw in me that I needed help in that minute.
Yes, because you were...
I was broken completely.
You were broken. Your heart was broken. And
my soul was broken.
Yes, and it was very hard for you to release it. And I saw it. So that's the reason I told you, please, let's get inside the balcony, because there we were sitting just for the three of us. Other guests was in the salon, in the living room, and we can be more intimate. And then I could tell you that.
I can tell you that the moment she helped me, my hand was like trembling. I said, who is this person? Who is this person that can see inside of me what's really happening within me?
I start to enjoy from this present. When I became 27, I understood that this is a present.
Was there a certain experience that influenced in your transformation?
Yes, it was certain experiences. First, I had a friend in the place that I worked that she really liked to go to channelist and medium. So I haven't heard that there is something like that in my life. I knew that is astrologist and people don't know how to read the cards, but I haven't heard about medium and channelist, and she used to go. And
you didn't realize that you had that power?
No, I didn't know that. Something like that can be exist. I thought that something is bad with me.
Within you.
I'm not like all the other children. I was afraid.
What happened to that woman that changed your...
She used to go to a lot of mediums. And I was telling her, why you're going and you're wasting your time and money? So stupid. I can do it for you. And then I started to tell her things about her husband, ex-husband, about things that she is facing. And for me, it just was, I'm just telling. And she's going to say, oh, Arian, you know what? You have it also. Oh, come on. Okay. Now I have it also.
It didn't dawn on you that you had it?
No, I didn't believe in that. I didn't believe in myself. I just thought that I'm speaking with her.
So what changed within you?
What changed within me was two things. Other friend that she was insist that I will go and learn holistic therapist. And she told me, you are a therapist, you have a power, learn. So I went to Redman and I learned several courses there. And I saw in the internet that is a channeling course. How to channel. So I said, I will buy her the course. Me and her in Tel Aviv, we were used to live in Haifa, and we went from Haifa to Tel Aviv. We wear white clothes, and then I was sitting there, and he started to explain about energy, about angels, about there are things that it's not just the material things. I was in shock, and I was looking at him, and I'm looking to other people, and I'm saying to myself, is not he a lunatic? While we are sitting here, we're not sitting in a lunatic places. Is it real that people talking about things that I always knew and I kept it in myself because I was afraid to speak about that people would not think that maybe I'm not normal or something like that? This was the moment that changed my life, that I said, wow. And then when in that course, I start to X-ray. People call my present X-ray because I can see inside of them. And everybody came to me. It was the aha moment for me to understand that there is a power. So in that moment, I started and I wanted to use this power in order to help people, assist people to be better, to get out from the sabotage that they feel inside of them and to break through. So I started to work with people, and this was the beginning. And then when I started, a lot of people came to me. It was amazing. I was just 27 and I was sitting in the home, and people came from all, Haifa, it's the Israeli North Town, and people came to me from all walks of life, and I was walking from morning to night and assist them.
Like, you're talking like a medium?
Like an X-ray.
Like an X-ray, a medium.
Something else. Medium is something that get from the outside, get the messages. Okay, see future. I read the inside of the people. I see the people like there is no skin on them.
Okay.
Everything they think, everything they face. What is the force that drove them to do something? And what is the force that drove them to stop them to do? I can see that. I can see the things that they are facing inside their organs and the heart. What is the heart, the liver, and all that stuff. And I help people. I gave them many tools, and I saw them flourish. And then I saw that although I give them so much and I see them that they're having a jumping, quantum jumping, there's something inside of them, like a mechanism, that actually stops them and prevents them from doing what they want. So each time I can do with them a session, I can bring them to a different stage, but then I put them in front, push them, and then they're coming back. And I saw like their inner mechanism inside the person. There's a mechanism that works against him.
Against the person.
Against the person inside himself, not outside. Because that's what people say all the time. It's outside. He doesn't give me to speak. He doesn't like me. He prevents me. The situation.
He's always blaming somebody else.
Yes. We used to think that, okay, I want to be successful because I want people to know that I'm wealthy. We used to do
that. I understand, because I remember it was always feeling the guilt, always feeling the being afraid. And I say, you know what? I don't understand it. Why is this happening to me? Why I want to do this and something is always happening. Somebody's always blocking me.
Yes, somebody's
I
blocking
didn't
you.
understand that.
Yes. So I saw this mechanism that the person wants to do something and I'm helping him. I helped him. I was looking inside of him. I gave him all the tools and something inside of him stopped him to do it. And then I understood that I want to do it as a science. So I initiate a research.
As a science?
As a science. The research I initiated when I was 29. Okay, after 2 years that I was working with people, I said, okay, there's two things that I want to achieve. First of all, I want to know more. I want to know more because I want to understand what is this mechanism that stops them? Why people do that things to themselves? How come? Because we think that we want the best of ourselves. We wake up in the morning and we have our dreams, our ambitions. So why do we stop ourselves? So I want to know more than the things that I saw as an X-ray. I want to know it as a science. This was one thing. The second, I want to develop something that other people can work with that. Because if it's just me, that I will do the X-ray, there's a limit. How many people I can do? How many people I can work? How many years I can do it? But if there's a science, if there's a method, so I can teach others. So that's what I wanted to do. So then I initiated the research. I opened the place, I called it the Arian Lev Center, Beit Arian Lev. And then I said to myself, okay, what do I need for research? I need a brain researcher. I went to the Weizmann Institute and start to look for a brain researcher that will be open enough, with less ego, that he can come to a private clinic with a woman that she's a medium. And we're talking about the year is 2005. So in that time, it was not popular.
People were not aware and were not accepting.
In Israel. Not in Israel.
Not anywhere.
Yeah. But in the United States, still the coaching and the...
Coaching, yes, but nothing that, like the gift that you got, people were not accepting it yet.
Then yes.
I would say would be the last, 10, 15 years that it became more acceptable. Yeah.
So here, even in Israel, the coaching, the NLP, all the things that was not. Maybe there was landmark, niche group that do something, but it wasn't something that people knew what is it. So I was a person that say that I want to do X-ray. People came to me, and that person that came to work with me, I really appreciate him because he is pioneer by himself in the Weizmann Institute, and he came to work with me 1 year. So I called for a brain researcher. I called for a neurologist. And I collect people from complementary medicine, reflexology, yes, Chinese medicine. It was 12 therapists then that worked in my place. So people used to come to see me. I was X-ray them, see what's going on inside of them, write a prescription, and they give it to the therapist. And we work together. And then in that point, I started. I saw something that happened inside the person. When I saw that I give them love, I give them the information, I saw the mechanism that inside of them that reject it. So I saw the condition, the code, love equals rejection. And then I gave it to the therapists, the people that work with me, to my team. And I told them about that mechanism, and they checked it. They checked it by the brain, they checked it by the body. And that moment, it was the initiation of the method that after 21 years, let's say even less, 2018, it was finished. The research is finished, it's done, and there's a method that it's a scientific method. For now, we healed me and my team. Now my team is 45 therapists and trainers, and we worked and healed more than 48,000 people. Wow. You are one of them.
And I can honestly say the code that she gave me was love equals delete. And I was deleting myself.
I will accurate it. It was I equals delete, and you reprogram it to I equals exist.
I am, and I am here.
Yes, the I am is what causes you to see yourself.
Yes.
But the mechanism, the subconscious, it works unconsciously, and the code, the name of the code is I equals delete. The brain knows how to read codes, conditioning. It doesn't know how to read beliefs. If I am like that, it's for me, but it's not for the brain. So you release the code that
I released it, yeah.
that caused you not to be exist. And you are a pleaser. You always want to please other. You always want the other to be happy, and you didn't see yourself.
Till a few years ago, till I went with you, I always remember doing something that I was always, is that okay? Is that okay with, how is it? Am I okay with you? The cakes that I'm doing, is that tasty for you? The food that I'm doing, is that okay for you? I always needed the verification of things that I'm doing for you to please myself.
To exist.
To exist.
Because you didn't feel yourself. You need the other to approve you.
I needed to be surrounded by 1,000 people.
To feel alive.
Today, even if I'm by myself, I'm reading a good book, I'm watching a TV show, I'm so fulfilled and I'm so at peace with myself, which is really thanks to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for appreciate.
Listen, I say it all the time, and you, my guests, can see and understand. This changed my life. And I wish for everybody, like I said before, if you have any kind of trauma, if you feel rejected, if you feel, my dream was always to be on TV and to have podcasts, but something was stopping it. Today, I saw I'm the one that was stopping it, and nothing is stopping me today.
Yes.
And that's thanks to you.
Thank you. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank
pleasure.
you.
With pleasure and big heart, and because that's what I want to say. When I saw you in the beginning, the first time we met, even the second, I remember that we sat in Tel Aviv at the cafe,
in the little cafe
next to your daughter's home.
Yeah.
And you told me that you're going to somebody mentor the taught how to speak in front of the audience.
Correct.
On the stage. And I saw you and I told you, Debbie, you can do it. You have the charisma. You can do it. I see you standing on the stage and talking in front of people. And you said, yes, I have my book. I wrote a book about cooking and I told my story. The book is about cooking. I thought that this is the first stage that you do. But then you will stand in front of the audience and speak, and you want your own TV show again?
Yes, not only that, but I can honestly say, when you did that to me, I was approached in Miami by somebody. She says, I have a favor to ask because nobody wants to do it. Is it possible for you to come to speak for the state of Israel in front of people in a church? I said, pleasure, absolutely. So how many people can be in front of a church? It was the first time I ever did it. And I said, it can be 100, 200. I go down all the way to Homestead, and it's called the Jesus Christ Ministry by Apostle Guillermo Maldonado. And I don't see a church. I see a huge, massive building. I said, where am I? And I go in and I see I'm in front of 13,000 congregants. My heart is going like this. Am I going to be able to do it? What am I going to say? And then I remember what she taught me, what I learned for myself. I stood in that stage. I couldn't have been more proud of myself as when I stood in front of them. I spoke to them for the state of Israel and for Vitzo. And afterwards I came down. I couldn't have been more proud of myself as in that moment. I say, this is your place and you can do it and you're good at it.
That is true. I remember it was not just the people inside of the church, there were people in home that saw you on the screen.
I didn't realize that he has almost 200 million followers that follow him. And I said, okay.
And you could do it.
And I can do it. And I'm doing it now.
And everybody remembered you. So the things that change actually, and I want to bring the people the knowledge, it's that there is a system that works inside of us, and this is the subconscious. It's not something that we can know about that and notice it, because it works without our ability to be aware of. And when you know which code from the 29 blocking codes, as you knew...
Give me examples of codes.
Okay. So one of the codes, I will talk about the things that you changed. You changed I equals delete. You changed love equals abandonment. Do you remember?
Yes. Now I remember. I think that I love equals abandonment was in my subconscious when my parents drove me to Lausanne in Switzerland. And all of a sudden I see they open the gate to a beautiful big house and nuns come out and they say, bye, goodbye. And they left. And I felt abandoned.
Yes. So this is the story. This is the memory.
That's my memory.
And that memory caused you and burned into your subconscious the code love equals abandonment. What it caused you when you become adult, always be afraid to be alone. So always be afraid that people will leave you and don't want you. And then you become a pleaser. And you always had to be surrounding with people and you could not be alone because you were afraid to be alone. The feeling of to be with yourself, it was a frightening feeling for you.
I remember that very well.
So this is two codes, but those codes that are embedded in the root of the subconscious and affect the brain. So let's take the example of those two codes. Okay. One, I equals delete. It means that wherever there is my feelings, my emotion, things that I want in life, things that I think about myself, those feelings are raising to my brain. There's a voice, unconscious voice that telling me, delete it, cancel it, okay? Delete
so I will not get hurt again.
Yes, that you will not express yourself. You will not exist. You delete yourself. I am not here. I am here, but I'm not here. I'm like a ghost. So I want people to see me. I want people to notice. I want to be on the stage. I want to speak. But there is self-sabotage mechanism that actually prevent me from doing that unconsciously. So even if you wanted to do it, something happened and you couldn't. You were afraid. You didn't have even the options. Sometimes people say, but I don't have luck. It's not that you don't have luck. Your subconscious cannot attract it to your life. Why? Because there is a code that is unconsciously that caused that. And I have to say, because there are a lot of people that say, but Arian, and they say to the therapist also, my childhood was excellent childhood. I was good. I don't know why. I feel that I become very shy when I'm with people, or I cannot express myself when I'm with people, or I have a stage fright, or eating disorder, and all the things that people are facing. People say, okay, it's come from the childhood, but my childhood was perfect. So what is the research discovered also? That your childhood can be perfect, but this code can be given to you by the DNA. It can be your mother's, and it can be your grandmother's also.
It passes through the cells.
Yes, to the DNA. And what is beautiful to see, that is another research that published that say that when the fetus, that she's a girl, in the mother womb, she has her eggs already existed. So the things that the mother feels in the time that the fetus in her womb, that she's a girl or female fetus, so it passes to the girl, to the fetus, and it's passed to the eggs. And the fetus already
passes through the
eggs. And so the grandchildren...
It's a continuation of a DNA.
Yes, even the grandchildren, the codes are inside the eggs of the mother before even the mother came to the world.
Question.
It's amazing.
When people are talking about past life regression, I always say past life regression is, if you want to talk it in a physical world, who made you? Your parents made you. Who made them? Their parents made them, and so on, and so on, and so on. So we all have cells from our parents, our grandparents, and all our ancestors. Those cells have memories.
Yes, and codes.
And codes.
The memories and the stories are inside the code. So when you identify which code actually is operate your mind and control your mind, and you know how to reprogram it into supportive code, what we do, you change your life dramatically. That is the reason. We actually change, we actually reprogram one code. It was the I equals delete. This is the code that cause you to break through, and you just start to fly like a butterfly that went out from his cocoon, and nobody can stop you. And you remember the stories. Everybody were in shock. And all those girls and women that hurt you before.
Today I say thank you to them.
Today, but even then, they start to look up to you. There were even times that they were asking you to come back to be there with them, that they want to be invited to your place.
I have the right to deny those people entrance into my own place.
Yes.
And I don't feel the guilt that I had before.
Because the guilt is part of the other code that you released, is I equals cancellation. Okay? It's to cancel myself or to eliminate myself. Okay? Make myself small. So it was several codes that you released. And when you release those codes from the subconscious, everything changed for you and they start to look up to you. In the beginning, you were so afraid to release them. You are afraid to be alone because you just came to Israel from Miami.
I didn't know anyone here.
Yes, and you're afraid to be alone. And after you release it, you start to be afraid to be alone. And everything came to you, and it's amazing.
There's a difference of being alone and being lonely.
That is true.
And today, even if I'm alone at home and just sitting here on my sofa, having a cup of coffee, looking out of the balcony, looking at the Mediterranean Sea, or just doing meditation, I am so happy within me. And this is thanks to you.
Thank you.
Really, really, thank you. One thing I remember was when you had like a class and there was a guy that you interviewed and he has a good business and he could not understand the reasoning why he cannot be successful. The one with the books. And afterwards he said he became very successful.
I do remember what it was because I forgot.
How many thousands of patients do you have? Exactly. Anyway, Arian, I couldn't be happier than we spent a few minutes here together.
Yes.
And for you to tell everyone what amazing method is.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Not only for my viewers, but for myself. I can only say to Borei Olam, thank you for bringing you into my life because you really changed it. And whoever needs help, please don't hesitate. And if you want help, go for it. It's worth it. I see it within me. I see it in myself, in my soul, how I am today, how I am the strong woman that I became today, how I am the most powerful within myself.